So this is going to be a video for anyone who has ever experienced the feeling of being really productive, but feeling like time is going by really quickly, and you're doing all this stuff and you're filling your days with things that are good, that are productive, but you still have this like lingering feeling that I'm somehow not getting anywhere, or I have nothing to show for all of my productivity. So I'm just going to tell a really quick background story of like, why am I talking about this and what do I know about this? So I was first sucked into like the mindset of productivity, self-improvement through like when I was in high school. I was really interested in weightlifting outside of the sports I was doing at the time. And so that naturally sucked me into that world of, pictures on Instagram of like people with sweaty abs with like captions on them of all kinds of motivational quotes. And so that formulated my brain and drew me in because I was attracted to this idea of being really visibly strong as a way to feel more confident and presentable in the world, so that later on maybe I could step out of feelings of fear and shyness I had just as a person every day walking through life. So I created this idea that productivity and fitness, having a really strong, beautiful, perfect body was an indicator of success in life. And this is like universal, so common, not just unique to me, obviously. But that led to trouble down the road, but I will talk about that in a future video. So productivity is still something that I'm really attracted to naturally, because one of my primary values is like living life as fully as possible and showing up for every day, trying to like fit in as much things I can in a day, because I just don't want to waste time. Time is so valuable to me. And so like productivity, of course, is going to seep into that of, if I can just have the right morning routine and get everything I need to done, and, afternoon and then evening routine, just pack your day full of things that are going to make you a better person, or the promises that we're going to feel fulfilled, like living in a textbook perfect way. For example, like, meditating, journaling, exercising, meal prepping, organizing, having a, completely clean and organized home, dressing well, having a minimal closet. I could go on and on and on of all the ways that, I've tried to streamline my life so that every day kind of follows an algorithm. But something I've realized is, so I've been doing that probably like the past 7 years, maybe more than that. And I still have had this feeling like I'm doing all the right things, but why do I still feel like I'm not getting anywhere? Or, I arrive at my birthday again the next year and I feel like, I don't know, I haven't accomplished anything, even though I'm doing things like, accomplishing things at work or in school. But I just don't feel like I'm getting anywhere in my life. And I start to wonder, like, am I just going to feel like this way forever? Like, I'm just going to be this type A put together person, doing all the right things, but I don't feel peace. I don't feel really excitement getting up in the morning, because I just know my day the next day is going to look the same. So here's what I think has been going on. And I have notes down here in my lap, so that's why I'm looking down. What I think has been going on, or like when I go inward and reflect on this, like here's the insight that I have realized. So in a day, ideally we have like 1 full tank of gas. And if we've slept well and eaten well, nourished ourselves and exercised, the volume of the gas tank increases a little bit, but it's not unlimited. So we really are only working with 1 tank full of gas. And I kind of consider it my tank full of motivation. So I can only really like push myself to do so much in a day before I completely tap out and I just, I'm ready to not do anything. I just need to lay and exist and go to bed. So we have this tank full of motivational gas, and I've realized that I have been burning up my tankfuls of gas on things that are good, are great, that keep me healthy, but they're not necessarily things that are going to build over time, like goals or like really things that I know deep down in my soul that I'm gonna regret not doing when I'm older. So if I'm burning up all my energy, exercising a lot, obsessing over organizing, like for example, sometimes I have a really hard time sitting still and resting. So I have sometimes like spent entire weekends like reorganizing a closet or perfecting, like reorganizing my art closet instead of actually doing art, creating art. So, and in the past, fitness is great. I am so passionate about health and fitness, but there's like a line where, you might go for a run or something in the morning, and do I really need to go lift weights again in the evening for an hour? There's a threshold of what is helpful for keeping me healthy throughout my life, and what is maybe I'm just spending way too much energy on this when I only have 1 tank of gas, and there's actually this other thing that is really deeply important to my soul that I'm not doing at all, and I'm spending it all on exercise. So, and then of course there's like the empty calories of what we spend our energy and attention on, like watching videos, watching movies, enjoyable, beneficial to our lives in that maybe we learn something watching a really interesting documentary, but I kind of consider it like empty calories. So obviously I've been really frustrated by this feeling in the past, like I'm not using my energy devoting to something that makes me feel fulfilled. So here's what I've distilled everything down to, all of my thoughts. So if you've ever had a dream, like when I was a kid, I started writing a book, and then I promptly closed the cover and I was like, I'm gonna get back to this later. And it has since been probably 20 years. I am now 27, and I was probably 7 years old when I thought in my head, I would like to write a book. So I've been procrastinating on that dream actively for 20 years. And I think that's something that has contributed to that feeling of every day, like, I haven't done anything, I haven't worked on it. And so, but it's so understandable. So here's what I've realized. When we look at a dream or some deep work we want to do, or something we know we'll regret not doing at the end of our lives, it is so daunting that it brings up, the idea of actually pursuing it, that it brings up all of the really intense emotions of fear. Like, am I capable? What if I give up? What if I disappoint myself by not doing this like how I imagine it turning out? Just what if I completely fail at it? It's easier to just keep it in your brain for later. And it keeps us safe, not actually acting on it. And we stay in our normal everyday feelings of, control. And that's where productivity comes in, to save the day is like, you don't have to take any scary steps towards something really daunting that really matters to you, but you can feel good about getting done XYZ and, you know, all the 100 things that we fit into our days. So here's the good news and the wisdom that is changing the way that I've been living. It's not the attainment of the goal that will ever make you feel fulfilled necessarily. It's not arriving at the goal finally on day 100. It's days 1 through 99 that makes you get up in the morning and feel like there is something that I am building, that I am doing every day, and I'm heading towards something. I'm not just like spinning on a wheel every day, just in maintenance mode, keeping up with my life. I am building something over time. And our bodies and souls like react to that. We feel so much excitement and joy just to know that we are in the process of something. And the really cool part is that all of the good stuff, all of the change, all the ways that a really big daunting goal stretches us as a person, it's all happening in the process of heading to the goal. So for example, right now I am planning a solo walking trip along the coast of California, and I'm really nervous about it. And it's coming up soon, and I'm sitting on my computer this morning, like researching where I can stay for nights XYZ. And I realized this idea I'm talking about right now, I'm not the best planner. Like, I really procrastinate when I need to sit down and work on something because it's coming up, like reserving a hotel room. So right now I am expanding as a person because this trip, this goal, this idea I've decided to make real. And, you know, I've got maybe 2 weeks to plan it. And the planning process is the goal. It's stretching me. I'm actively moving through fear. I'm experiencing a lot of fear and moving through it. And I'm getting better at getting organized and planning and, you know, helping myself feel more comfortable as I approach the goal. And then by the time the walk happens, you know, that'll be an experience in itself, but the whole planning process is the goal, is the destination. It's a cliche phrase, and it's because cliche phrases are cliche because they're so true. They're like deep wisdom, but we've said it so many times that it just like glazes over and, you know, it loses its ring and its meaning. But what I'm getting at is the path is the way. I'm sure you've heard that before. Or it's not the journey, it's the destination. That kind of makes me want to gag because it's so cliche. But once you experience it, once you're living it day to day of I'm actively pursuing this, I feel so much fulfillment and excitement and fear, but I'm growing as a person, and it's making me feel like my life has direction and meaning instead of just not getting anywhere. So here's some questions I'll just leave you with before I peace out of here. Questions for you to ponder. Is there a dream or some deep work that I've always wanted to do that I know I will regret not doing at the end of my life? And how could I arrange my day differently so I could spend like a little bit of my daily energy every day to start feeling fulfilled, like I'm living a fulfilled life? And what are some energy burners that I could let go of or reduce a little bit to make room for energy to spend on these things that can grow over months and years? So I will leave you with a quote from Annie Dillard, who I think I've quoted on almost every one of my videos, because she just, yeah, she's my favorite author, and she embodies my ideal, which is to live a fulfilled life. And her quote is, "The way we spend our days is, of course, the way we spend our lives." So every day that you are including action that is working towards an exciting, scary, long-term goal, your life will be filled with joy and fulfillment. I hope that's helpful. I'll talk to you in the next video.